Hey friends, how you guys doing? It is firewood season. We are in the meat of firewood season. I'm behind, friends. I'm always behind on my firewood. I get ahead, I get behind, but I've been behind the last couple of years. My barn here, and I'll show you guys here. I want you guys to see what's going on here. This has been a couple of years like this, maybe 3-4. I used to store everything in here, friends, but we had a really bad storm and this building kind of broke in half, so I had to take it down. Started cleaning it up. This is all dug fir, and there's 3 layers of shingles on this building, so cutting it with anything dulls it. I want to get maybe a rescue saw and see if I can cut the roof open. So anyways, friends, remember all this gnarly stuff? We cut this last year, probably with the 630 and various other saws. This is that Manitoba maple. I'll burn it, friends, but this stuff doesn't split nice. The better stuff is in that pile. Here's a bunch last year that we split, noodled. So this stuff's good to go, but I got to deal with it now. I want to move this whole pile and get this all stacked and ready to go. If it burns, I'll burn it. But here's the problem. Swinging an axe at this stuff, it's just wavy, gnarly, nasty stuff. And it's a lot of work. And often it doesn't split. So, bring you guys back here. Hey friends, what a beautiful day. Hey. Definitely a lucky man to be living here with my family. Wife's doing good, baby's doing good, everything's good. Okay, friends. So, I gotta break all this stuff down and I can't split it. It's big saw day, friends. You guys always want to see this run. I get asked all the time. I pulled it out. It's a Pioneer p61. This is a 100cc nasty, vicious power saw. I'll show you guys it up close. A subscriber sent this to me years ago. I've run it sparingly. It has a massive fuel leak that I need to fix. Now, friends, any of you guys that have run Pioneers know they're weak in the recoil. The recoils break. I've had various Pioneer issues, especially on the bigger ones. I want to drill and tap this case, but still retain. I don't want to be missing a bolt, but that bolt there is on an angle and it leaks gas like a sieve. I filled it up this morning and it's just leaking everywhere. But other than that, friends, this saw is pretty much business as usual. So I'm gonna fire it up, get it warm. I got a 24-inch bar and a really aggressive hand-filed EXL chain, and it's a crappy chain because if I remember correctly, this wood had nails in it, so why run a good chain? This was a rusty chain that ended up in my truck during a rainstorm. It slid to the front and it was in water. I didn't know it was there. And when the water eventually drained out, it was rusty. So I threw this on here, did a hand file. I dropped the rakers pretty far today because a big saw like this, it's pretty hard to stall. You just dig in and go. So, and we'll see. It's actually, you guys will probably laugh, this thing will probably blubber even, completely buried in this harder wood here. So that's just the way this saw runs. This saw needs a lot of load on it. And we'll probably swing the that Tassie that Buckin made. And I got the farnertec 288 because I'm sure I'm going to dull this chain. Anyhow, friends, let's get set up here and I'm going to fire this saw up. The saw runs sweet. It starts at idles. It's just an easy going saw. But there's no idle screw on it, so it might stall once in a while. That's not a tuning issue. This saw has the wrong carb. I'd call it the right carb because it's not governed, but it's just a beauty. Let's fire this vintage classic muscle saw up and do some work with it. Friends, can you tell these deer live in my yard? Running big bore chainsaws, power saws. And they're like, yeah, I know who you are. I live here too. So this deer here, oh, that's no good. This deer here always has twins. If that's the same deer. I know it's the same deer. There's the other one. Right there. I know it's the same deer, friends, because she always has twins. This is the 4th year in a row she's had twins. We take good care of that deer. We let her graze and don't bother her, and keep the coyotes away. She had triplets last year. She had 2 of her own, and one, she was a surrogate mother to a fawn that lost its mom. She raised that fawn till about this time of the year, and then it was 2 boys and a girl, and one day that little girl was gone, but she fed 3 babies all summer and kept them going, so pretty cool. Anyhow, back to the video. What a nice day, eh, friends? What a nice day. Okay, well, as you can see, whether it be a new kitsaw or a vintage 1970s monster, friends, did you hear this thing flutters? I find if you tune the fluttering out, it's a little bit too lean. I don't want to burn this thing up. It's, you know, it's too cool of a saw. I'll keep this for many years, and then I'll pass it on to somebody else and they'll enjoy it. I don't want to blow it up. It's got good compression. It's all there. It does have a broken handle bottom, but it runs, friends, and it does work. These big power saws are amazing. You put this thing in a bigger piece of wood, and I have a couple times on occasion found a big enough piece of wood to actually load this thing up. When those reeds finally hit and it clears up in a bigger piece of wood, this thing is just a monster. It just tractors. I'd like to race this against my 298. I'm curious. I think this is probably a stronger saw. Thumb oiler. It has manual and automatic. I love this oiler. It's right where your thumb is, so you don't even have to, you know, squirt, 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 keep going as you're cutting. The big dogs are a hindrance in this scenario for noodling, but I mean, they stand up with a super long bar, so full wrap. It's just a nice saw, friends. I really, really like this. It's so cool that somebody sent this to the channel, and I just love this power saw. I've never seen a big Pioneer here. They just don't exist. And I mean, this thing still has massive compression. So that's what I use it for. If I got a bunch of noodling to do, this is a great saw. It's got lower chain speed. It'll pull less than awesome chain through dirty wood like we just did here. It oils like crazy, and it doesn't get too hot. The nice thing about noodling with a big saw is they have the cooling capacity to make cut after cut. Remember, these are built to make big cuts, so they have more cooling capacity, and they will maintain a cooler temperature longer. So if you're noodling, they're, you know, in between cuts, they cool off and you keep going. Whereas a smaller saw, you can noodle with like a 372 or something else, but as you get going, that saw's gonna get a little bit hotter. So in that case, I would tune that saw rich. The 288, I just put another tank through it. I'm treating it like a normal saw. I'm just gonna run it and use it. Friends, I'm not gonna do a darn thing to this 288. I'm just gonna use it as a power saw. I'm not gonna mod it, port it, do anything. I might do a muffler mod because that's something I would normally do, but I'm not gonna port this saw. The other one that's giving me trouble, friends, I think I'm gonna tear that down this winter and bulletproof it and make it into something nasty. And I have an idea about what we can do for that. I would like to swap enough parts that I believe that thing has a chance of living, but I want that saw to go in a production environment. So what I'm probably gonna do, friends, is build that saw. I'm gonna give it to one of my buddies that runs a tree service and let him beat the snot out of that thing, and we'll see how good are the cases, the cylinder and piston, all that stuff. All I'm probably going to change, friends, to port that is the crankshaft. The rest of it I'll leave, maybe the bearings. So anyhow, friends, getting through my firewood, I'm almost there. A lot of this stuff is not splittable, this junk wood, but that's what I burn in the shop. The good wood goes in the house, the junk wood goes in the shop stove. That woodsman stove will eat anything. Hardwood, softwood, dirty, slightly wet, it doesn't matter. And that chimney's short and it's so easily cleaned that, you know, if my wood's a little sooty, I clean my chimney every year anyways. So anyhow, friends, I pulled the Pioneer out by popular demand. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I did. I really love this saw. It's just a treat to run. It's got anti-vibe, it's smooth. It is heavy, but it doesn't feel too awkward. It felt funny with a 24-inch bar today, but that's all I needed, and I wanted to keep this thing as light as I could so that I could get the most amount of work done. So anyway, friends, as always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later.